Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our Talks with Walt, as we are calling our readings through the deathbed edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We're in the Calamus section, and we turn now to a little poem, A Leaf for Hand in Hand. Now our assumptions are that you've been with us from the very beginning at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side from the inscriptions all the way up through that little classic poem, A Glimpse. Our background information from Norton's will tell us that this Calamus number 37 poem may be preferred to its first text of 1860, which incidentally included in line 2 the phrase, quote, "you on the eastern sea and you on the western," end quote, dropped in 1867 when the poem took its present title and its form. Now, one of the things we want to point out is the use of the word "you" 7 times. Notice all of the exclamation points in this one as well, in this little 6-line offering. By the way, do notice it is a leaf for hand in hand, not leaves for hand in hand. I told you that Whitman is always trying to somehow shock us a little bit. Let's enjoy the reading of the poem. A leaf for hand in hand. You natural persons, old and young, you on the Mississippi and on the branches and bayous of the Mississippi, you friendly boatmen and mechanics, you roughs, you twain. And all processions moving along the streets, I wish to infuse myself among you till I see it common for you to walk hand in hand. Now, of course, this idea of hand in hand we've already seen a number of times in Leaves of Grass. It makes us go back to our reading again of those last lines of Milton's Paradise Lost. Maybe we'll see that at the very end of this conversation here. We'll begin, of course, with hand in hand, and then he'll say it, speaking directly to you. Now this again can be either you the reader, or this can be you as in all of Americans. You, notice natural persons, old and young. Hey, do you remember in I Sing the Body Electric passage number 2, the natural, perfect, varied attitudes? We're back to this idea of natural again. Something authentic for Whitman is something natural. And then he comments on the Mississippi, 5 times used in Calamus, the Mississippi. The branches and bayous of the Mississippi. We told you that Whitman did his trip down to New Orleans. You friendly boatmen and mechanics. We've seen the celebration of both. I hear America singing for the mechanics. You roughs. Now in the 1855 Song of Myself, passage 24 edition, you'll remember Walt Whitman, an American, one of the roughs. He loves this word roughs. That is to say, the unpredictable. That is to say, someone who understands what real work is all about. And then, of course, you twain makes us think immediately of Samuel Clemens and the use of Mark Twain as his name. And all processions, 4 times in the Calamus section, we're going to hear this processions word gets used in Calamus or beyond, moving along the streets. And here we have our 4th exclamation point. I wish, and here's the goal, right, to infuse. Now, this is the only time the word infuse gets used in all of Leaves of Grass, and here it is. I infuse myself among you till I see it common. That is, that's one of those kind of central words, democracy itself, common for you to walk. We're going to think about Song of Myself, passage 46, and the idea of walking. Of course, Song of the Open Road, we'll come back to this idea of walking. And then, of course, hand in hand. The idea of being hand in hand, go back to starting from Paumanok, passage 19. Do you remember this set of lines that'll just kind of be an echo? I hope that you can remember this one. You remember this? Oh, camerado close. Oh, you and me at last and us two only. Oh, a word to clear one's path ahead endlessly, or something ecstatic and undemonstrable. Oh, music wild. Oh, now I triumph, and you shall also. Oh, hand in hand. Oh, wholesome pleasure. Oh, one more desirer and lover. Oh, to haste firm, holy, to haste on with me. Well, obviously we're playing very similar games here. What are we going to say at 2A in messages here? I think the argument here is that the artist is the true Democrat. That is to say, the great lover of democracy. That word picture of walking hand in hand with everyone is such a beautiful word picture. The repetitions at 2B of you and the exclamation point, all of the echoes from Paumanok on, and as well, I love the idea that one time the word infuse gets used, and it is in this poem. Now, we have mentioned already Song of the Open Road and put that one in your notes, but I just want to remind you one more time, I think this is a huge part of reading Leaves of Grass, these final lines from Milton's Paradise Lost. Do you remember this? He says, the world was before them, where to choose, their place of rest and providence their guide. They, hand in hand with wandering steps and slow, through Eden took their solitary way. And I think that it's not lost on Whitman that Milton is playing the game of the great walking hand in hand into the world. Finally, in 3b, I try and give you guys a question that can tie you back into each one of these poems, and this is it for this one. Who do you like to walk hand in hand with? Who would you like to walk hand in hand with? And I hope that you're walking hand in hand with Whitman in Leaves of Grass, your annotated edition. Thank you.